Hello everyone and a very good evening to all of you and welcome to Career Launcher. So all are aware that from Monday to Saturday at 8 p.m. we have the Spanish class taken by but in today's class actually on Saturday I take the class. I'm sure you must be aware. So today is Saturday. So let us begin with today's class. It's 29th November. Am I audible, visible? Is everything fine? So today is Saturday. So let us begin. Am I audible, visible? I think I'm audible, visible, everything is fine. So let us begin. Okay. So today is 29th, Saturday, and there are some articles which we'll discuss. India post 8.2% Q2 GDP growth, top 6 quarters. This will be discussing. Then we'll be discussing about Trump says he will stop all migration from third world countries after a DC shooting. Means there was shooting that happened in Washington DC. So we will discuss about that. So let us begin with this. India post 8.2% Q2 GDP growth. Now can anyone tell me what is Q2 here? And what does it mean here? Anyone? Q2 का क्या मतलब है कोई बता सकता है? Anyone? So basically देखो होता क्या, we are having a concept called as financial year or fiscal year. So financial year or what we call it as fiscal year. ठीक है. So for example, if they are writing FY26, so FY26 means FY 2025-26. This is also called as FY26. Okay. So this fiscal year actually starts when? So let's say we are having 2025. So we are having January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. Then we have 26 ka January, February, March, right? So it starts somewhere here. So April, May, June will be called as Q1 of FY26. Okay. Then July, August, September will be called as Q2 of FY26. So this is being talked about. Ye wala, July, August, September of fiscal year 26 or also known as fiscal year 2025-2026. This is being talked about. July, August, September. Okay. Is it clear? ये clear है कि नहीं? पहले quarters clear हुआ कि नहीं? So quarters means 1/4 of a year. So if 1 year has having 12 months, 1 quarter will have 3 months. ठीक है, Q1, Q2, then Q3 is October, November, December, and Q4 is January, February, March. है ना? Clear है? Hopefully. So that is what they are saying, that in Q2 of the GDP, we have seen in the Q2 of this fiscal year, that is FY26. That is what we have been talking about. Okay, is it clear? GDP we have seen in the quarter. Okay, yes. So that is what is being talked about. So, and please tell me which organization comes up with the GDP estimation data. ये data कौन सी organization release करती है? We have discussed in the earlier classes. Which organization comes up with this data? The GDP growth data. What is the answer? National Statistical Office under MOSPI, Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. Yes, Adija, right? So data released by MOSPI, है ना? National Statistical Office under MOSPI, Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. ठीक है? So that comes up with this data. Okay? है ना? तो इसी की बात हो रही है. ठीक है. अच्छा, एक चीज और बताइए, यहाँ पर रियल जीडीपी क्या होता है? व्हाट इज रियल जीडीपी एंड हाउ इट इज डिफरेंट फ्रॉम नॉमिनल जीडीपी? व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ रियल जीडीपी? व्हाट डज इट मीन? Real GDP means inflation adjusted GDP. Inflation adjusted GDP. Okay. Okay. That is what it means. And if you have not adjusted, it is called as nominal GDP. है ना? And yes, it was also very much in the news that IMF has given C grade. We'll discuss about this editorial में इसको हम लोग आगे discuss करेंगे. So I'm not discussing it here. Let's talk about the next one. Trump says he will stop all migration from third world countries. What is the meaning of third world countries? Meaning of third world countries. What does it mean? Yes, Neha Swarup, you were right. The definition of real GDP you had answered. NAM countries कह सकते हो हाँ yes. So basically actually and what about the second which was second world countries and which were first world countries? वो क्या था? First world countries and second world countries. What were that like? How to define? So these concepts actually arose during the time of Cold War. Okay, so I'm sure you must be aware. And in 1945 to 91 or almost around, we have seen Cold War. So basically, the blue ones are the first world countries, which are actually US and these European countries. So this is called as first world. The blue ones are first world countries. The second world countries were Eastern Bloc, which means those who were close to USSR, Soviet ideology, communist ideology, etc. So that is called as second world. The third world were actually technically non-aligned countries which had neither supported the US, like US is led by NATO, etc. So US not supported the idea of the Soviet bloc. So it's like USA had made NATO, etc. They had made the Soviet Union had made Warsaw Pact, and now we are having third world countries non-aligned movement. So the third world actually here are actually gray countries, gray color में जो है. And most of the third world countries are actually considered as developing also. So we sometimes, if you read it, third world countries and developing countries are used interchangeably many times. Okay, so that is what also you should be knowing. So what as a migrant from Afghanistan? Okay, that's why Donald Trump will change our immigration policy. We are planning that we'll stop I'll permanently pause migration from all third world countries to fully recover. That is what he's saying. So he will. He has said that he will reverse millions of admissions granted under predecessor. So according to Trump, that many people actually came during the time of Joe Biden, and that's why I will reverse those things. That is what he is talking about. Class is freezing in between. I also realized those things. That is what he is talking about. I don't know why that is. Will change our immigration. Planning that will stop permanently pause migration from all. पता नहीं. I don't know why this is happening. Like my internet is fine, but still. Okay. The red ones are actually the Soviet Union or pro-Soviet countries were called as second world, and the non-aligned movement countries, those who had not supported either of the bloc, they are actually called as third world countries. I hope it is crystal clear. So this was very much in the news. Donald Trump talking about this, that I will pause migration from all third world countries. Let's move on to another article, which was on the first page. Nearly 100 died as Cyclone Ditwa batters Sri Lanka. So this is actually affecting the Sri Lanka and the Tamil Nadu region. Can anyone tell me how the names are being given? So the names are like this. Okay. So whatever any incident that happened in Indian Ocean, like, or I would say Indian Ocean region, Arabian Sea or Bay of Bengal, if the cyclone comes, the names are given here. So let me make it right like this. I'll explain how it is like this. Okay. So for example, the last one that happened is Senyar. So the next one that will be happening is Ditwa. This is how the names. After that, the next name would be Arnab. like this. Then Morasu. Okay, so Ditwa, it has been named by Yemen. So ऊपर से लेके नीचे तक naming होती है like this. So top to bottom the name goes. Okay, so the last cyclone was Senyar. So the next one is Ditwa. So this is Ditwa. So any cyclone that happened in Arabian Sea, Indian Ocean, and Bay of Bengal are named like this. Okay. So you can see the cyclone Ditwa crossed over Sri Lanka and adjoining southwest Bay of Bengal. Okay, that is what Indian Meteorological Department has said. And I'm sure you must be aware it has completed 150 years this year. It is under Ministry of Earth and Sciences. Right? Yes, so this is Ditwa cyclone. And a cyclone Ditwa disrupts Tamil Nadu as flights cancelled. Flights, trains, things got affected. So this is Tamil Nadu, this is Sri Lanka. So both are getting affected because of this. Okay. Now, so another article on the first page was Putin to visit India for annual summit next week. So he'll be there on around 4th December to hold annual talks with Modi ji. PM Putin will lead the Russian delegation in 23rd India-Russia annual summit also. Okay. Can anyone tell me that 4th December, why there is something special for India on 4th December? Hurricanes actually come in America region. Disha Badala, that is not in Indian region. Hurricanes are generally tropical cyclones hitting America. And their naming is done in a different way. Yes, Sneha Swarup, very good. So Mr. Putin will be in India on 4th and 5th December because of, yes, Operation Trident conducted 1971. So 4th December is celebrated as Navy Day. That is also you should be knowing. But I'm not sure whether he will join, he will witness that Navy Day or not. But that is what it came in the in my mind. So that's why I've decided to discuss. Okay. Okay, so we'll discuss further. I think it will be important because Donald Trump is putting a lot of pressure on India not to buy crude oil from Russia, etc. I'm sure you must be aware. So let us see what will happen. Then we will discuss it. Kremlin is what? Kremlin is actually the president house of Russia. It's called as Kremlin. Took a 2-day visit. So Draupadi Murmu will host a state banquet in his honor. He earlier visited India in 2021. Yes. Now, when since we are talking about days, like recently, right now we talked about the Navy Day. If you are not aware of the days, please watch this class. And if you are attempting this year CLAT exam, then it is must. You should watch this important days and themes. Okay. You'll get an idea about, and we have seen CLAT 2021 asking two questions on days and themes. Let us move on. So we are talking about the impartiality of a nominated governor. So what is the meaning of impartiality? Can anyone tell me? Anyone? Not biased, right? हाँ. Partial मतलब bias, impartial मतलब unbiased कह सकते हो, sort of impartiality. So why is talking about that? What is the idea behind this now? And what we have seen in the past also. Okay. So the thing is, let's say this is a state. Okay. State has a chief minister which is elected. Okay. And a state has a governor which is appointed actually. Nominated is also not a very correct word. So, ठीक है चल जाता है, but appointed. Appointed by central government. So actually it is appointed by president on the advice of council of minister, मतलब prime minister कह लो. So for all practical purpose, it is the decision of the prime minister who should be appointed as the governor, है ना? It is actually the prime minister's decision. Or the council of ministers means by prime minister and the other ministers. Now, everything is fine if the party, like the ruling party at the center, let's say there is a ruling party PQR. I'm just giving example. PQR party in the center. And the same party is actually, let's say PQR party is actually in the state. Then there is no friction between the chief minister and governor, generally speaking. This is what we have seen in the past also. Since 1947 till now, what we are talking about. Now the problem starts when if the center we are having PQR party and at the state there is some other party, let's say ABC party. In that case, there are chances of friction, and we have seen many such cases of friction in that case, especially if the ruling party in the center and the ruling party in the states are different or opposite. Okay, so that is what, Hannah. Can you explain how the governor is appointed? So the council of minister, which is led by the prime minister, they advise the president, and the president choose a person. Okay, there are some eligibility criteria like 35 plus age hona chahiye, citizen of India hona chahiye, etc. and all. But generally, it is directly chosen, directly appointed. There is no such too much conditions. Okay, that's how it is. So there is no election of the governor technically. Okay. So basically, they are saying that governor is the author is actually clear giving the message that governor is supposed to work impartial. It is having a constitutional post and should not be guided actually by the political interest or party interest. That is what the author writes. Okay. So we have discussed about these judgments. I think in the last Saturday class. So this is 29th March. So watch the 29th November. So 22nd November ka the Hindu analysis you watch. We have discussed about this. What? The judgment of the Supreme Court and use of Article 143 advisory jurisdiction. So the author is talking about that. Okay, we have discussed it there. So I'm not repeating it, that concept. Okay. Okay, so ये हो गया है ना. The author is quoting Government of India Act 1935. Now, why is Government of India Act 1935 so famous? Can anyone tell me? क्या खास है Government of India Act 1935 में? So Government of India Act. So Indian Constitution we have borrowed from many places, and one of the important one is actually Government of India Act 1935. So I would say a lot of things we have borrowed from Government of India Act 1935. Okay, and please, yes, shadow of Government of India. Very good, Sneha Swarup. So first of all, those who are attempting this year CLAT, I'm sure you are watching these. Go to the playlist, view full playlist. These are the revision classes we are providing. Similarly, there's one more modern Indian history view full course पे जाना है ना playlist में. So you will get this class. I have discussed a separate class. Why I'm highlighting this? Because we have seen in the last 2 years we are witnessing modern Indian history question. That is why it is very important that you should be knowing it. ठीक है. The next is ठीक है, इसमें इतना डिटेल नहीं जाना है. वो बहुत डिटेल कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल डिस्कशंस वगैरह बात कर रहे हैं, बट आई डोंट थिंक यू विल हैव टू गो ऑन दीज कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल डिस्कशंस. And I've discussed it in the last class about this topic, so I'm not repeating it here. है ना. ये क्वेश्चन आया था फर्स्ट दलित प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ इंडिया KR नारायणन. ये दिस क्वेश्चन हैज बीन वी हैव सीन इन द पास्ट. ओके, है ना. हाँ, ये वाला लाइन देख रहे हो, इस पर पैसेज आया है क्लैट में. डॉक्टर अंबेडकर सेड if things goes wrong under the new constitution, what we'll say is that a man has become vile. So means he wanted to say that yes, constitution is very good. The man has become vile means those who are actually the constitutional post holders, they have become vile with a bure aadmi, bad people. So it means the constitution is not bad, but those who are actually responsible for like ensuring the implementation of the constitution or people have become bad. That is what he wanted to say. Is per we have seen a separate passage in CLAT, I think 2022 as far as I remember, or 2023. They gave a passage on this in detail about Dr. Ambedkar's speech of Constituent Assembly and talking about this thing. Okay, I'm sure you must be aware of that. Please see the previous year questions. That's very, very important. Even if you are preparing for next year, previous year questions are very important. Okay. ना एक साइड में आर्टिकल थी IMF's low grading shows low damaging delays in data upgrades. So basically IMF has given C grade for India's national account data, the second lowest grade. So A, B, C, D. So lowest is D, so C we have got. So that is what IMF annual review has given India's national accounts statistics, including key figures such as GDP and GVA, gross value added, C grade, second lowest grade. So A, B, C, D grade दिया था, उसमें C दिया गया. So they have highlighted some shortcomings. So they have raised some issues. तो क्या है, इससे पहले क्या है कि outdated base year. So base year what we are taking is 2011-12, so we have to update it. Especially when we are talking about wholesale price index when they are being calculated, the base year has to update because it's almost 13-14 years old. Next is sizable. They said that there is a sizable description between production and expenditure method. है ना, आपने पढ़ा होगा स्कूल डेज में, क्लास 11-12 में पढ़ाया जाता है कि जीडीपी कई तरह से कैलकुलेट करता है ना, एक्सपेंडिचर मेथड, प्रोडक्शन मेथड, वैल्यू एडेड मेथड, ये सब होता है ना. सो GDP, they are saying that the GDP which is calculated through production and expenditure method, there are some issues with that. That is what they have highlighted. According to IMF, this is not my opinion. These are what IMF has said, and they have said there are room for improvements, etc. Okay, so इसी की बात हो रही, C grade, etc. and all. नेशनल अकाउंट्स मतलब वही होता है जीडीपी का कैलकुलेशन. दैट इज व्हाट यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड, है ना. Okay, so this is actually one thing that we need to upgrade the base, base year. That is also very important. Next is India's disaster response as slippery slope for federalism. Again, now I'll talk something about it. इतना detail नहीं जाना. But what is the idea of federalism? What is the concept? Or what are the basic features of federalism? Anyone? क्या मतलब होता है? Federalism means we have central government, state government, and the state government is not subordinate. है ना? Division of power, and devolution of power, whatever you can say. So basically, center and states are there, both exist, and they have the constitutionally separate provisions are mentioned. They derive their powers, and the state government is not subordinate to the center. All they work, है ना? So basically, these are some of the things. Dual polity, है ना? The first thing is dual polity means we have two governments, union and the state. Although now we are having third tier government also, but currently we are talking about federalism. Written constitution, written and supreme constitution should be there, and rigid so that it should not be very easily changed by the center or by the parliament. And independent judiciary, very important. Why? So that whenever there is a dispute under Article 131, the center and states disputes can be solved amicably by a neutral third party. Okay. So these are some of the important things. Although there are other also, like these are the examples of federalism, but the best initial 5-6 points are very important for federalism. Okay, that is what you should be knowing. So they're talking about incidents where federalism, like talking about federalism when it comes to help from the center. For example, if there is a landslide, like say happen in Wayanad, so they are giving some examples that how much help should be there from the center, etc. Now, so she is giving one example. The author is giving example that tragedy last year happened. 300 people died, destroyed thousands of homes. Again, Kerala loss was this much amount, and union gave only 2,630 crore. Okay, so the loss was very huge, but the central government only gave this much amount. That is what the author is writing. The mismatch is not unique. Signals of erosion of cooperative federalism. There's a concept of cooperative federalism. है ना? Cooperative federalism means all the states and the center should cooperate each other to develop. That's the idea of cooperative federalism. So the author is not very happy, perhaps, that less amount was given to Kerala after the Wayanad floods. Okay, इसको fiscal federalism का concept भी कहा था ना? Means federalism from financial angle, है ना? Money related. ठीक है. So इसी की बात हो रही है. They are talking about the numbers, etc. They are not going in that detail. ठीक है. और अच्छा एक होता है 16 Finance Commission. What is the job of Finance Commission? Can anyone tell me? It always comes in the news. And is it a constitutional body? Yes or no? कोई बता सकता है? Anyone? Finance Commission, actually, it's a constitutional body under Article 280. Its job is to recommend to the center about the devolution, like tax devolution. जो भी tax collect हुआ ऐसे समझो. देखो होता क्या, center collects more taxes, so center has more taxes. So they gives those tax collection to the states also, because states collection of taxes are less, na? So like 15th Finance Commission said 41% devolution should be happening, and a 15th Finance Commission they had said this. Okay, that is what you should be knowing. So similarly, now we are having 16th Finance Commission has been set up, and they will in future recommend about the tax devolution. इसको कहते हैं tax devolution from center to state. By the way, who is the chairperson of the 16th Finance Commission? The author is here talking about it. Chairperson of 16th Finance Commission. Anyone? आप सर्च करके नेट से, इस इंटरनेट से सर्च करके बता दीजिए. But why I'm asking, so that you will search it, you will remember it, you will write, so then you will remember it. आपको याद रहेगा. Yes, Mr. Arvind Panagaria. And who is Mr. Arvind Panagaria? Anything about past? He has served at important position. Yes, Aditya Das, you are right. Arvind Panagaria was the first VC, Vice Chairperson of Niti Aayog, when Niti Aayog was formed in 2015. Okay, that is what you should be doing. Now, the next is tense water. China and Japan must de-escalate and focus on economic cooperation. So, basically, recently, I'm sure you must be aware that Japan's Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba resigned few weeks back, I would say. Okay, Shigeru Ishiba. And now we are having a new Prime Minister. Her name is Sana Takaichi. Okay. And she is actually the first woman Prime Minister of Japan. So they are talking about something, the author is talking about the must de-escalate. So in the past, actually, there's a history behind this, that China and Japan has been at loggerheads for many years. दोनों का असल चलता नहीं बनता है, ठीक है? Because of many reasons, many historical reasons as well. So they are talking about must de-escalate means reduce the tensions. Okay. And there's one more thing being talked about. ये कभी-कभी एग्जाम में पूछा था. Diaoyu Island, or what we call it as Senkaku Island in East China Sea, which is actually a dispute. So where exactly it is? This is China, this is Japan, here is Taiwan, this is Senkaku Island or Diaoyu Island. And this island is a dispute between China, Taiwan, and Japan. Okay. And this you will find it in East China Sea. Why I'm talking about it? Because few years back, ALET asked question about South China Sea. They had asked about 9 dash lines. Okay. And these are the islands. Paracel Islands, Scarborough Shoal, etc. Okay, you can see it here. This is Taiwan. This is Senkaku Island. Okay. And you can read about it. Diaoyu Island, Senkaku Islands, a dispute between Japan, China, and Taiwan. Sometimes they are actually in the news and they are being asked in the exam. Okay. Now, let's talk about this. Shah calls for coordinated efforts against narcotics. So what is the law? Can anyone tell me, is there any law or any agency has been made in this regard to fight narcotics? Anyone? We have a law called as NDPS, Narcotics, Drugs and Psychotropic Substance Act. And under this, NCB, Narcotics Control Bureau, has been made. I'm sure you must be aware of that. And this is India. And it's important because here, this one and this one, these two regions are important, like, or drug centers. Yes, Adriya, you're right. NDPS, आपने सही बताया. And I'm sure, Narcotics, Drugs, Psychotropic Substance Act 1985. Narcotics Control Bureau has been set up in this regard. And these are the laws, punishments regarding it. Okay. So ये देखो कि ये है golden triangle है ना, on the eastern side, and this is golden crescent है ना, on the western side of India. These two are the important drug places or the drug cartel, illegal drug centers. So that's why India has to be very careful when it comes to handling the drugs, or when it comes to suppressing, I would say, the drugs trade. That is what it should be knowing. Somebody is asking question, sir, CLAT sample paper with WWC semiconductor. WWC I didn't get. इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक्स आ गए हैं तो इनकी प्रायोरिटी है फाइनल पेपर में। देखो रीवा का नेचर रिसेंट ईयर्स में तो मैंने नहीं देखा है कि सैंपल पेपर से डायरेक्ट कॉपी हुआ है। एक बार देखा था कि सैंपल पेपर क्लैट के सैंपल पेपर से एक क्वेश्चन एलेट में आया था, तो पॉसिबिलिटी है, पढ़ लीजिएगा उसको, प्लीज डू नॉट स्किप। अच्छा वुमेन्स वर्ल्ड कप, अच्छा हाँ पूछ सकते हैं, तो भी पूछ सकते हैं। सेमीकंडक्टर मिशन, जीएसटी इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक्स। हाँ जीएसटी डिस्काउंट था ना अभी, मतलब जीएसटी में रिफॉर्म्स आया था, यस दे कैन आस्क अबाउट दिस, ऑल थ्री आर इंपॉर्टेंट वंस। वर्ल्ड वुमेन वर्ल्ड कप पर हम लोगों ने वी हैव टेकन अ क्लास ऑन यूट्यूब, है ना, अबाउट व्हेन वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द रिवीजन क्लासेस में। प्लेलिस्ट में जाओगे ना आपको मिल जाएगा रिवीजन क्लासेस की प्लेलिस्ट, ठीक है। सेमीकंडक्टर मिशन भी पढ़ लीजिएगा। सेमी इंडिया का विक्रम 32 बिट प्रोसेसर वाला चिप बनाया गया, इंडिया ने बनाया है ना, मेड बाय ना विक्रम साराभाई स्पेस सेंटर एंड सेमीकंडक्टर लैब चंडीगढ़, वो सब पढ़ लीजिएगा, ठीक है, दैट्स इंपॉर्टेंट। नाउ नेक्स्ट इज एचसी क्वेश्चंस, हाई कोर्ट क्वेश्चंस, लोकपाल प्रोसीडिंग अगेंस्ट डिफेंस सेक्रेटरी। So defense secretary is the senior most bureaucrat in the defense ministry. So there were some cases where initiated against him that has been quashed. There were some proceedings, irregularities and Riva Khaneja recent years में मैंने नहीं देखा है. I have not seen recent years की questions which were mentioned in sample paper were directly asked in the exam. In the recent 4, 5, 6 years में ऐसा नहीं हुआ. But I cannot guarantee for this year. Okay. But I have seen one incident 2-3 years back where a question was mentioned in CLAT sample paper. It was asked in ALET exam. That I have seen. ठीक है, तो पूछ सकते हैं कि नहीं, of course nobody can say anything. But ideally if sample paper में question आ गया, so at least you should know that. ठीक है, please do not skip. That's the idea. है ना, ये हो गया. Then Lokpal is in the news and a defender of the people. I'm sure you must be aware. Who is the current Lokpal of India? Actually, recently it was in the news regarding BMW cars, etc. So Lokpal you should know, है ना. So former Supreme Court Judge Justice A.M. Khanwilkar is the Lokpal, है ना. So I'm sure you must be aware Anna Hazare movement happened and after that Lokpal Act was passed. Okay, the idea of Lokpal we have taken from which country? ये ALET का question I think, है ना. The idea, the concept of Lokpal has been taken from which country? Can anyone tell me? Ombudsman, or the idea of ombudsman? स्वीडन से लिया ना, इज अ प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चन, है ना. सो ये सब पता होना चाहिए. चेयरपर्सन शुड बी मिनिमम 45 years ऑफ एज, है ना. सो ये चाहो तो पढ़ सकते हो. व्हाट आर द एलिजिबिलिटी क्राइटेरियाज? देयर आर 8 members ideally. I think currently there are 7. Lokpal is an ombudsman, anti-corruption agency. Anti-corruption agency to fight, ना ombudsman से कहते हैं ना, a body which is supposed to fight corruption. Even it includes a prime minister under his jurisdiction. ठीक है. So 8 members, ideally 4 has to be a judicial member who have experience in Supreme Court or a Chief Justice of High Court, है ना. Remaining 4 जो non-judicial members हो सकते हैं from SC, ST, other backward class, है ना. So these are the things. Please read something about Lokpal, है ना, because Lokpal has been very much in the news. So first Lokpal थे 2019 से 2022 तक जस्टिस पीसी घोष, ठीक है. उसके बाद आप देखोगे एडिशनल चार्ज वाज गिवन टू प्रदीप कुमार मोहंती, सो 2 साल तक थे. मींस देयर वाज नो फुल फ्लेज्ड लोकपाल. नाउ 10th मार्च को वी हैव सीन 2024 जस्टिस एएम खानविलकर एज द लोकपाल. सो करंटली ही इज द लोकपाल ऑफ इंडिया, ठीक है. नाउ ये ऑपरेशंस वगैरह काफी एग्जाम में पूछे थे. इंडिया लॉन्चेस ऑपरेशन सागर बंधु टू प्रोवाइड रिलीफ सप्लाईज. व्हाई रिलीफ सप्लाई? व्हाट हैपेंड? थोड़ा देर पहले हमने बताया था. We have seen a cyclone Ditwa in Sri Lanka. That's fine. So Operation Sagar Bandhu can be asked in the exam. That it is recently in news. It is what? Okay, that is what you should know. And इसको बारे में पढ़िएगा because we have seen questions from Samudrayan. So basically, I'll tell you. So here is India. This is Central Indian Ocean. India has got permission from International Seabed Authority to mine, do deep sea, है ना, deep sea रिसर्च वगैरह कर सकते हैं और माइनिंग एटसेट्रा. सो समुद्रयान मिशन इज फॉर दैट पर्पस. द इंडिया can send its, तो ये जो है ना ये, this one is called as Much 6000, ये लिखा होगा, this is Much 6000, this will be sent inside the water in the central Indian Ocean to do research. 6000 मीटर डीप तक जा सकते हैं, इसके अंदर ह्यूमंस आर सिटिंग इनसाइड इट, इसको कहते हैं मिशन समुद्रयान. ओके, है ना, we have discussed this in paid classes in detail. So crucial test will be happening very soon. So इसको थोड़ा सा पढ़िएगा, है ना. मिशन समुद्रयान, we have already seen the question. Please read about International Seabed Authority, where it is headquartered. है ना, we have got the permission in Central Indian Ocean to actually extract polymetallic nodules and do some deep sea research. Because seabed पर जो है ना, there are a lot of elements that are found that are helpful for in electronics industry. ठीक है, so that's what you should be knowing. So we are stopping this class here. This is all about today's class. Please subscribe to the channel, press the like button, share this video. Thank you everyone. Thanks for watching.